I used to think that the best business I could start was one where I had no competition. I'd be the only guy doing the thing. And then I realized that's a cool concept, but I think there might be a better way. Here's what I mean by that. So several years ago, I was listening to some business experts, and they were saying the best businesses are the ones where you have a lot of competition. In fact, one guy who's a serial entrepreneur, wildly successful, he said, unless there's already 3 other people offering the same thing, I will not go into that business. And the reason for that, he gave several reasons, but he said, one, if you're entering a brand new market, offering a brand new product or service, that means you're in what people commonly refer to as the blue ocean. And when you're in a blue ocean, that means that you're the only one there. And if you're the only one in that ocean, it means that nobody is even aware that you exist. Nobody's aware that you offer that service. Nobody's aware that you are there to solve the problem that they have. If nobody is looking for what you're selling, how hard is it to sell people? It can be super difficult. Unless what you're selling is an impulse buy, which it's amazing to see how people can turn things that are not an impulse buy into an impulse buy, but unless it's an impulse buy, it's going to be really hard to sell that at first. It takes a ton of time, effort, energy, but the rewards can be astronomical as well for the people who open up a brand new industry. But for a lot of us, they don't have the time, the resources, the energy, or desire to open up that new industry, which is why they say you want to see some field that has some competition in it. Now, that's just one. The next reason is if you're in that brand new field where nobody's at, you're going to be in a position where you have no market research. Everything's brand new. You don't know if it's the right way to be this or to that. You don't know, should I be the low cost on this? Should I charge super high rates? Are people going to want to hear about this when they're watching entertainment? Are they looking for this problem in other ways? How do I reach out to my customers? What's the right message to say? None of that has been researched at all. So now you're in a phase where you have to do all the market research from the very beginning, completely alone as well. And then finally, the last reason is if you're the first into an industry, unless you can take over that industry really quick and become the name for that industry, as soon as other people see what you're doing, they're going to be able to say, wow, there's this guy offering this service. I can come in, innovate this little way, and now you've got all the competition jumping on, and now you're fighting for market position against a bunch of innovators that came in off from all the hard work you did and started to build off from that and save themselves all the time, money, and effort. So if you can become the market leader instantly, maybe it's a great idea. If you have the time, resources, energy, and ability, it might be good to open a new industry. But if you're just looking to start a business that can pay you a good amount of money and offer you some freedom of time and some freedom of money as well, it might be better to enter a market that has competition already and then figure out within that market what segment of the market is being underserved and come in and serve that market segment in a far better way. So, for example, I met a guy and he got into the roofing industry, and in where I live, there is so many roofers. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, anyone can become a roofer. It costs nothing, super easy. Like, all you need is like a pickup truck, basically. It costs almost nothing to register. There's not a lot of paperwork to be done. Anyone can be a roofer, right? So he became a roofer, but he says, I'm the roofing company you call when you don't need a roof. What's that supposed to mean? That's a brilliant idea. Who else is selling roofs to people that don't need roofs? But what he did is he figured out there's a segment of people who don't need a roof, but they want one for a very specific set of reasons. He's the guy people call when they want a roof for those specific reasons, and that's how he's branded himself. And everybody knows he only does this one kind of roof. Now, he's not going to have as big of a market share as if he was trying to put a roof on every building. But he's also not trying to do that. He's trying to build a business that will provide him a solid stream of income and give him freedom of time and money. He's found a niche within a very crowded industry, within a very crowded market, and he's able to carve himself a very healthy piece of the pie. So which is better for you? Are you going to try and open a brand new industry, or are you going to take a piece of the pie from an existing industry and an existing market and be happy that you have a successful business?